Hey guys, today I'm going to make a video I'm kind of excited about, which is a deep dive breakdown into women's mating psychology. Okay, I don't see if many channels or anybody go in this in depth in something that obviously it's a very multi-dimensional topic. It's something very multifaceted that there's a lot of aspects to, and you can write a novel about, like a book this thick on. Okay, but I'm gonna lay it down very simply, to the point, easily understandable and easily digestible for guys who want to get that initial understanding of what women's mating psychology is. Okay, because I have a background in this and it's something that I've studied for many years. So, women's attraction, when it comes down to their mating selection process, has to come down to both biological and psychological factors. This has to do with physical appearance, huge, body language, status, among other things, play huge parts in this, okay? If you lack all of those, your chances go down a lot in the mating selection process for women in their, like, what they're looking for, what their mating psychology is all about. So there are some subconscious cues. I have to address the subconscious first for women, okay? Things like symmetry, posture, confidence, behavioral things that subconsciously they'll just pick up on without even realizing. They're like, it's not even something that registers in their mind per se, but they feel it. They recognize it still. Okay. And one major thing that I haven't talked about too much, which I have to address in this, though, I have to, is status. Social status plays it is a ridiculous element. I actually should have talked about this before, more so. So automatically, I'll just address social status. Automatically, you are rated. It doesn't matter who you are. You're rated very quickly by everybody on your social status, on where you lie on that. Okay. Don't shoot the messenger. This is the way shit goes. But especially with women, they know automatically you're so based on social status, like a social hierarchy, where you stand on that. Okay, and the guys that are on the higher end of the hierarchy will, like the top 5%. Getting women is a lot easier. I'll put it that way, and 95% as a result are pretty well left out. It's sad, it's unfortunate, but it is the way shit goes. So work your way to that top 5% as best you can. As best you can. You don't need to do it, but necessarily to get to where your goals are, but at least you have something you're aiming for the stars at least, okay? Okay, I got to move on to the next things. So there's emotional triggers that trigger emotions that in the mating process for women, and that is things like humor and leadership. Obviously, leadership qualities, confidence qualities, and things like that are important just for the initial attraction. You have to get some type of initial attraction. If you don't have any initial attraction, the game's over before it already begun. Okay, so you have to initiate some initial attraction, and I made a lot of videos on this already. So I'm already 4 minutes in this video. I gotta move on. So next is the power of language in the mating process. Communication plays a huge role. Huge role. Both verbal and nonverbal cues that resonate with women and signal high value traits. Your high status, high value. You're selling yourself as somebody who is high value, like worthwhile, has some worth to them. So key points of language is tone, cadence, word choice, On word choice, I would just throw in there using a lot of descriptive words, emotional types, charged words, in how you describe things. And sometimes you can slow things down and really emphasize things that you really, the point you're trying to get across, as opposed to just talking monotone. You're talking monotone the whole time, this type of tone and everything. You can really get things down to another types of linguistic level. And yeah, I think conversations is huge part of the pair bonding, because if you look at other species, it all comes down to language as well, even though they don't have spoken language. But other species like birds or sometimes insects and things have like vocal things still, like beep, 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 or they might have a dance, which is body language and things like that. And so we're not too far different. We still have a bird brain and things in us that's very relevant. So we are still falling in the same type of animalistic behaviors that animals do when it comes down to the song and dance of the mating ritual. Evolutionary drives, which is the deep down wiring of mating behavior. Again, it's part of the brain, it's part of the nervous system. So women's are very much more, I think more so than men's, rooted in evolutionary traits that puts that selects for, because they're the selectors and it's natural selection. So they're selecting for the evolutionary traits that make the chance of our genetics being superior in the end. We'll actually survive as a species as a result of. That's kind of a. Again, nobody's fucking talking about that at all. I think I am, though. So, evolutionary perspective, resources, protection, stability, long-term mate selection. Protection, I think, is huge because, again, back in the day, I made a comment on this on one of my last videos. Survivability, back in the day, just to survive was a huge amount of effort, and guaranteed guys played a huge part of that, and fighting off warring tribes and whatever else, right? It was literally a life and death scenario. So that still carries on to this day, especially with women who are looking for what in their evolutionary biology of their selection, the mate selection. Modern day factors, because we've got technology now, we've got social media, we've got dating apps. So the dynamics has shifted a little bit, yet the roots, fundamentals, stays the same. But you still got to address the new tools. So this is evolutionary perspective, because evolution is based on how men use tools. If you look at evolution of warfare is all tools like an axe or a sword or a gun or whatever else. That's going to predict who's going to win in the end. And in the end, the tools you use and how well you use those tools is going to affect your mating potential. So you got to get your online profiles, your status, and your persona online great. I don't even want to talk too much about this, but it plays a huge part in modern attraction because of just the fact that you're using all tools available to your disposal in that regard. Women are the gatekeepers of reproduction. It's a genetic battle for men, specifically. Women decide, they hold the power whose genetics are passed on to reproduction, because without them deciding who's entering them and who's coming inside them, our genetics would die. Humanity would die. If all of a sudden no women decided not to mate, humanity would die. Obviously, men wouldn't be the ones to decide factor. We always want to mate, right? They're the ones who are receptive, and they're the ones making the choices. So they're making the choices on the mate selection. And these are the types of psychology things I talk about in this video and other videos, okay? So it comes down to, for men, there's a degree of competition when it comes down to that selective process. A lot of guys that's a bit of a hard pill to swallow, And you just gotta understand that that's just the way reality is. That's just the way nature is, man. I'm sorry about that. And if you get fallen behind in the process of that, well, you can still live a good quality life and all, but you might not reproduce. Just to be real with you. So do you want to reproduce? You have to ask yourself, is that a legit goal? And if you're not, and you're getting a bit older, well, you have to make some drastic changes to that, because it is a genetic battle. Like, sperm is competing against sperm. It's a sperm warfare. Okay? What a weird thing to say, but it's true. So you can set yourself apart. It's not too late by aligning yourself with psychological, emotional, and physiological things that women prioritize in their mating process, in the ritual in itself. Okay, conclusion, I'm going to try to tie this all together here. So, hey, no one's saying that this is an easy concept to understand. Women's psychology and their mating ritual is a bit complex, to say the least. Emotional, psychological, biological drives all together. It can be for a guy, a bit of a headache to understand. Yeah, for me it was for a long time, but now I think I've got a good grasp of it now. So, first of all, like, if you have to be able to meet all of these needs the best way you can, and to demonstrate, like, initially I said that initial attraction, you have to be able to, first of all, initially attract a woman. It's like, you have to be able to, like, initially, like, lure a fish to your hook, or if you're in a room and there's a cat, dangle something there, you know what I mean, and they'll come to you. There has to be something that attracts them towards you. Second of all, you got to use great language. Third, understand the whole psychology of women and what they're looking for in the selection process of things, and use modern day tools and technology, and in the competition with other guys set of things, set yourself apart. That's how I'm going to conclude this. There's other things I could talk about, but these are the intrinsic traits that as a guy you have to aspire towards in understanding women's mating psychology. Thank you for watching, guys. If you have any comments or questions or things you want to elaborate on, please do in the comment section below. This video is only 13 minutes, and I covered a topic that literally you could talk about 5 hours for. Okay, so how did I do? Did I do okay here? Please leave in the comment section below. Thank you for watching, guys. Peace.